Your music was never about the amount of plugins you can use in your project, but the quality of the plugins you use. Through our research regarding the MPC X SE, we found that there is a possibility of using a third-party plugins in our project. This discovery was huge. As much as we love MPC X, there was something missing. Over the years, we've been collecting favorite plugins. Now, I jump into MPC X, what basically gives me a full library of different sounds. But they are not my sounds. You understand? They are not my sounds my ear is accustomed to. Even though I've been having fun with what I have inside the hardware of the MPC X, my heart was still seeking towards the previous sounds, or at least bring them back somehow. I think the combination of these two will lead us towards even greater results. We are going to approach the subject slightly different today. I want you to picture yourself as a guitarist. You drive your car, your van, into a venue what you're about to play. You open the back door and you take out 2 guitars with you. Right? Some kind of amplifier, you go on a stage, you set it up, and then most of the musicians, you're going to look to the left, to the right, and you're going to recognize these 2 guitars. Now, it comes down to the music you play. What kind of music, what kind of style. But I bet you that most of us will think about having one acoustic guitar and one electric guitar. And this is exactly how we are going to approach the subject today. So we are going to open a new project in MPC. Of course, the idea is to synchronize these two, the hardware and the software, all together. If you don't mind, we are going to create tracks. Under each track, we are going to load my favorite plugins. Then, one by one, we are going to open these plugins, perform with them, and talk about the essence of our study. Sounds good? Okay, let's create some tracks. By the way, did I mention that we could use your support? So please, subscribe to this channel. Nothing else, just subscribe. That's all it takes to basically grow our brand new YouTube channel. Name of the sequence is not important, but if you insist, we can change it to intro. Intro when all the instruments will play. All right, track 1, bass. And there's a variety of different programs. We talked about it in previous videos. There's a drum program, there's an instrument program, and between them there's something called plugin program. Since we are using plugins, plugin program, plugin program, you use plugins. Okay? Okay. Hopefully it makes sense. Okay, so bass, plugin. Under the plugin, we are going to assign our third-party plugin. So you hit this plus button, and basically you search for one. So quickly we are going to search for your favorites, for my favorites. And we are going to start with upright acoustic bass. Now, we are touching the bass again, scrolling band 1, unused. You can always double click on that bass And you've got the bass name. So unused, name, bass electric. Under the bass electric, the plugin program is on. At the plugin program, under the plugin programs, you select another bass. These companies, they don't pay me a dime for saying those things. So just to be clear, I'm just trying to give you the perspective from my experience. In order to work fast, it would be nice if you have some kind of instrumentation in mind first. Then one by one you just organize your workflow that way. Once you have them in place, playing with all those instruments is very easy. All you have to do is just select the track you want to play with, arm it, and basically just look for some ideas. And of course, I don't need to use the pads. I could use the piano. And all of a sudden, everything works. Now, let's switch to our electric bass. You got the idea. Acoustic guitar. The drum set. And also in order to appreciate the simplicity of the mindset, we are going to see the subject from the musician's perspective. I'm putting myself in the shoes of the bass player. Most of the musicians will think about the sound they generate. The sound they generate, it's a combination of factors. One of them is choosing the instrument. Another one, the amplifier. Another one is some extra effects, what they can transform their sound to. And the game goes on, right? Now, as a bass player, I'm thinking I would love to have a wonderful electric bass instrument with me. Okay, I'm a huge fan of 6 strings, 5 strings. I love those lower notes and the extension of the upper range as well. So I'm thinking 6-string electric bass, no problem. Boom, I have it. Now, I love to have a 1 fretless. Fretless creates the sound like no guitar will do. So guess what? I've got electric 6-string, I've got the fretless. Let's go with 6-string as well. Who cares, right? Or 5 strings. Now, there is certain music I produce. So you have to ask yourself what kind of music. Like, I love the sound of acoustic jazz. I love the sound of acoustic folk, right? Sometimes I got the gigs what basically uses the acoustic sounds only. So now, okay, I would love to have acoustic bass as well. Now, once I have it and I use it, I can play a bossa nova, a samba, right? A beautiful jazz ballads, a swing music, right? So I can reproduce folk music as well, country music. So I can reproduce the sound of the acoustic instrument that way. The most important thing I'm gonna think about is that I can grab this bass and connect it straight to the console in the recording studio. This bass is supposed to sound good without anything else. Fretless, the same thing, without any other effects. Acoustic bass stands for itself. When I mic it, it's supposed to sound good. Once I have good sounding instrument with me, I can use different effects, amplifiers to tweak EQ, to tweak my sound into a specific direction. Voila! Which means I don't have to go nuts with my plugins. All I need is just a couple of good ones, and I'm ready to go. Let's start with the acoustic bass. Once again, this time I'm gonna pull out a subpage, which I'm accustomed to. There will be a little dot on the grip of that instrument, indicates where I am on the instrument. So now I'm gonna use them as a guidance to see if something is possible. If I do jumps like this, good skilled bass player is gonna achieve that. But I can't do this. So I have to be kind of this visual element. It's gonna guide me what's possible, what's not. You see, I wanna grab 2 strings. Like, it's very helpful. This technique is very helpful, especially when you wanna play chords or intervals. Like, for example, I'm gonna hit 2 notes. Totally possible. It could be possible. You see? It uses the same string, so I could do some kind of gliss if I have to. Beautiful. Doable. Excellent. Okay, so when I use the piano, beautiful. Possible. Totally possible. Possible. Excellent. I'm looking for fretless sound, and the TRILIAN replace new program. Boom. It's gonna deliver just that. This bass program is awesome. So look, I'm looking for fretless, full range. So the company who produces these sounds already kind of customized them through some effects. Now let's play it. So now we've got the sound of fretless. We've got the sound of the fretless. Now we are adding acoustic. Acoustic only. Fretless. Excellent. So imagine if we can add additional bass to it. Electric bass. And of course, I could very easily duplicate the previous playing and just copy and paste. So we are already seeing the possibilities. I've got the solid sound of electric bass, sound of that instrument. Now I can start fooling around with the sound of it into my liking. MPC X SE comes with the tremendous library of sounds. I could layer my bass's sound with something else. It doesn't have to be a bass-oriented sounds coming from that box. I could layer some synthesizer what basically matches that low frequencies and spark things up that way. So now everything becomes more creative, the whole process more expandable. And now I'm having a tremendous time by doing so. I want to quickly visit the page of that company who created these basses. The sound of the fretless you just heard, it's been designed by Spectrasonic company. The bass, of course, it's not cheap, but I'm thinking it's a great investment. The acoustic bass and electric bass, it's been designed by Ample Sound. This company is extraordinary. As you see, they've got many different flavors. Even when you look at the acoustic guitars, so many choices. Of course, basses, so many choices. They all sound magnificent. Instead of loading my computer with samples, what they are okay, I'm gonna have one extremely powerful one in my disposal. So I can always depend on it, like showing up on the gig with my one bass, what basically I know for certain that no matter what I plug this bass into, it's gonna sound terrific. So guess what? I could be hired for another gig if I do well.